transportation, especially alternative transportation in communities, and a tie to having a healthier community by having alternative ways of getting around, so.
Great.
Did we skip Rebecca?
I was gonna let them get to know
Oh,
you
okay,
first.
okay. My name's Van French. I'm the managing director of the Pollard Theater, and that means I'm more the business side of it. We have an artistic director that takes care of all the production elements. I'm over the grant writing, the marketing, the website, and ticketing and box office and maintenance of the building and all that sort of thing.
Okay, good deal.
I'm Yvonne Johnson, and I'm the utility billing. I consider myself a specialist, of course.
Mm-hmm. You are.
And here at the city, also help out in the court. I handle the cemetery, all the cemetery financials,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
Are you native to Guthrie?
I was born here,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved away. I've lived in New Hampshire, North Carolina, and Arkansas, and I love to take road trips and travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have a gypsy spirit. That's just what I think. But my grandfather was a fireman. I have a couple uncles that's worked for the city. So, you know, I care about what it does, how it prospers, and the impact that affects it and that we affect, you know, others. I want to be a part of it.
This is good. Rebecca?
I'm Rebecca Pittman. I am a law student at SEU. I moved here when I was 12 from California, and I've also lived in Virginia. But this is going to be where I raise my kids, so I wanted to get involved in the community. So
That's a good place
I
to.
have 3 kids. So.
Oh, good deal. Well, one of the things, I'm going to give about a 2-minute little preamble. A lot of people, when they hear transportation commission, it's like, okay, you have to deal with buses. Think of any kind of locomotion, whether it's on a train, in a car, or, as they say on Star Trek, bipedal. So it's, what they do, they call it bipedal locomotion. So what we, as the Transportation Commission, we look at any way you have to get around our community, we want to have input on. And what we've expanded this, the commission truly did start out as a function of the train system, trying to see about bringing train services back. But what we're discovering with the tie-in that we're making with the health aspect through the health department and so on, is trying to get people to be more pedestrian, to walk more. Well, that pulls in sidewalks, writing grants for sidewalks, that kind of thing. Creating a downtown that is friendly to pedestrians, and then that goes off into another realm, which is, in addition to getting people to walk around that downtown, making the downtown a place that you want to walk to and a place that you want to stay in and walk around. So we're looking at things like pedestrian areas, making it easier to walk across the street, extending the curb out so that it is easier to get across the street, and consequently causes the cars to slow down so that you don't run the risk of vehicle hazards at the intersections like we have. So all of that is tied into just transportation. And your ideas and your comments then feed in to the planning department, and I'm able to take information that we discuss, ideas that we talk about. Yvonne and I were talking just a few minutes ago about, we have more brain power around the table where, you can say, well, when I was in North Carolina, or I was in New Hampshire, or when I was in Texas, I saw this town that did it that way. and, you know, to bring those ideas forward and say, well, maybe some of those things could be applied here. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. That's a good segue for transportation. You know, we can take those ideas and use them here, you know, the best ones, to make this town something that's truly a wonderful place to be and has a great quality of life to it. So that's what we're all about, creating a better quality of life. So usually we're pretty informal, but with that, I'd like to go through and do an update on some of the projects. I don't want to talk incessantly, so feel free to interject as you guys always do. So first thing I'd like to talk about through the Transportation Authority is the Healthy Communities grant. This is the $8,000 grant that we had through Healthy Communities. We've expended $6,608 of that to go for the bike racks. Okay, and as you've probably noticed now that you're back in town that we've installed, oh, Van, help me, I think it was 13 of them.
I don't know what count we ended up with.
Okay,
I thought it was more than that.
Okay.
No, I was thinking 12, so
Okay.
that,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm going with hers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're installed throughout. We have had a request to add one more and install one for stables. So we're going to be doing that.
Oh, great, that's great.
So you can ride your bike over and
Mhm.
get a good meal over there. So we'll be adding one more rack. Oh, I could do this that way. Depending on the style, we have some that are surface mounted and some where it's poured. You're pouring a fresh thing of concrete and inset. What is it? The surface mount, I believe, are $312, and the other variety are $364 a pop. So that's where that comes out. Courtney with the health department was looking at other options for different things that we could do since we had about $1,300 left over in our grant things. This particular grant was for health related issues that had to deal with up and moving, I guess you might say, hence the bicycle racks. So with that $1,300, we were also looking at creating things for the schools. There is you've probably seen the different, it's not the food pyramid that they have anymore, but a different kind of way to measure the different categories that you have. And there's a humongous stencil that's the size of a 4-square game that the kids play. And we can order one of these stencils and do it in different colors. That's the stencil of Courtney's
It's
going to shoot me.
Like a nutritional chart or something?
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, a nutritional chart that you can make, that you can use as a 4-square game.
Oh, really?
Okay. So you
Okay.
have this stencil. You can, like each of the different nutritional food groups is a different color. And there's basically, I think, 4 main categories with one side one. So they've created this really cool stencil that you can paint on the playground. So as the kids are playing Foursquare, being active, they also see the different nutritional food groups, and then it goes on. So we're going to go ahead and get, probably 1 or 2 stencils and the paints and that kind of thing, and go through that. Stencils run around $375 for that that type of thing. So that's something that'll stay there for a few years. We can reuse it and put them at the elementary
Yeah, 'cause
schools.
you'd have to repaint it probably every year. or so.
Exactly. But Courtney Blisser, has gone through the superintendent's office and gotten approval. And
Oh, they
that
have?
kind of
Oh,
stuff.
good.
So, and they're all excited, and she's taking a survey of which schools need how many, and,
So this is just for Guthrie, and it'll just be the elementary schools, which we have how many? Or is it, yeah, right.
Right. Well, those would be the schools that would use the
I know.
Foursquare thing. But I don't see why it couldn't be used at other schools. I mean, this is that particular grant
That's what I was wondering.
serviced.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering, it wasn't just for Guthrie, it was more the county too?
I will verify.
Okay.
Well, let's put it this way, at least within the Guthrie school system.
Okay.
Which does
Okay.
include, some of the.
Okay.
We have
okay.
four schools.
Okay,
So,
okay, the expert here
What?
on that.
That's- I mean, it
4
has-
schools.
So there's
For
4
elementary
schools that
schools?
could be in there, that are
Yeah.
in there?
Mhm.
Okay.
And you'd probably have several different paintings at each school. So, I thought it was a great idea,
Mhm.
kind of fun, something different, that we do, so.
Good.
Okay. So that's what's happening with that particular grant, and I think that will probably be the end of that grant cycle.
Is there could Courtney send us a link to, for a picture of it? I'd like to see what it looks like.
Okay, yes. Placemaking improvements. This is the part I'm really excited about. 2 particular items, the block closure and the performance venue. One of the items that people have been kicking around for a long time is closing off that block, that block being First Street between Harrison and Oklahoma, to create an area where this is part of where people can walk to, creating a town square type environment where people can hang out, sit, visit, talk, maybe do different things, whether that's having an event, seeing if we can pull in farmers market, anything along that
And
line.
it'd be permanent.
Yeah,
It'd be a permanent thing. And that's the street right by the post office, right?
right in
The
front of
east
the
side.
post
Okay.
office. Yeah,
Where they do the farmer's market.
Right, where they do it now, yeah.
right, that's correct. What we did, there is another group called the Downtown Improvement Committee, and they meet once a month on Fridays around noontime. And we've been talking to them about what we do post Mumford, with some of the funds that came from there. And one of the things they wanted to do was to, let's address that block. Is there something there that we can do? And what we discussed was issuing a request for a proposal to see what we could do, a request for proposal. I always have to stop and check on that one. To get some ideas, what different types of like landscape architecture firms or architectural firms would be interested in bidding on that farther down in the cycle, and would be able to come up with some ideas for what we could do. We received 4 different proposals. We went through and interviewed each one of them, reviewed their credentials, and looked at different places where they had worked. Oh, I do have. This is the one who was our final vendor, I guess you might say, that we chose. It's called La Terra, Landscape Architecture and Terra for Earth. We met with them. We're just in the very beginning stages. Yeah, if you want to go pass it around, that's fine. That they're going to be up here next week to basically really. They've already done a good look around and such, but to basically have a charrette. With everyone. Charrette is a brainstorming session where they sit down and draw as we're all talking and that type of thing. We will be talking with them. They'll be here Wednesday afternoon late. That would be the